We're all familiar with the idea of the divorce lawyer paid to fight tooth and nail in the client's supposed best interests. Families can be torn asunder, parents bitterly estranged, unable even to be in the same room together.
Do you have anyone at home that you can talk to?
But an increasing number of lawyers recognise that most clients don't want this. This is where collaborative law has so much more to offer. Lawyers will wax lyrical about the benefits of collaborative law, but let's hear from the people who really matter, the clients.
My name is Jan, and I was married to Jeremy for 21 years. And we have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl.
I'm Jeremy, and I've been married to Jan for just about 21 years. And we've lived in Lymington, and it's been a very happy marriage until we decided that perhaps time was to move on.
When we separated, there was a period of time when we had to carry on living together. Mainly because our daughter was studying for her GCSEs, and we couldn't drop the bombshell then. Straight after that, when she finished her GCSEs, my eldest son got married, and he would have been devastated, and there was no way we were going to do that. So we waited. We actually had a family holiday booked, so we went on the family holiday. Jeremy was a bit behind me emotionally. I mean, he was still coming to terms with it really in the summer. But we got there, and after the holiday, I told the children one by one.
Yes, I saw a solicitor just to establish the ground rules of where do I go. Being married for 21 years, you've got quite a bit of history and assets which we needed to work through. So yes, I made contact with Sue. Jeremy
was the first one of us to see a lawyer. I was just really looking for separation. It wasn't desperately urgent for me to go through a divorce. I didn't see that it was. But I think for Jeremy, he felt that that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to sort of, move on, maybe. Maybe he was ready to move on.
Collaborative law was the right route, I think, for us to go down, because we wanted to keep it on a friendly basis, with children involved. And it wasn't just a question of collecting my records and disappearing. And I felt that was the best route to go down, to deal with it in a fair, sensible way.
When I went to see Anne, I didn't know anything about collaborative law. As far as I knew, everybody went to court. But she explained it to me. Jeremy was keen to go for that process because Sue had explained it to him. He felt it was the way forward. Yes, and so that's what we did.
Jan made an appointment to come and see me, but at that point Jeremy had already been to see Sue, and it had been suggested to them both that their case was eminently suitable for resolution via the collaborative process.
I acted for the husband, Jeremy, who came to me. I'd known him in that he's a local businessman in the town, and I'd known him for many years. So he came to see me, and when I see any new client, I will tend to talk to them very early on about the different process options: traditional practice, mediation, the collaborative process. And I felt, particularly in this case, that the collaborative process would be absolutely right for them for a reason that was very case-specific, which was one that they needed speed.
The speed was important to us because we had a sale agreed on our house, and having been in that business, I realised how easy it was to lose a buyer, particularly in this tricky market. So we were mindful of that, and the two processes went hand in hand, so that by the time we'd moved out, we had everything signed up and sorted.
It was really helpful that Jeremy and I were able to control the timing of the process, because although the people who were buying our house were patient because they were in rented accommodation, obviously they wanted to get in as soon as possible.
If there hadn't been the pressure of the sale, my feeling was that I would have tried to slow things down a little, because Jeremy needed to get his head round the breakdown of the relationship, which hadn't been of his instigation, and it clearly caused him some difficulties.
My daughter was particularly upset about everything, and that was quite tricky to deal with it. And in working through with both Sue and my wife's solicitor, we managed to sort of seek a route that was happy for everybody.
She started to, I feel, take some responsibility for her father, or try to. Not necessary and not appropriate, but that's what she was doing. And we needed to be able to resolve matters for them quickly. And we were able to do that.
Sue, Jeremy's lawyer, was very helpful in that process with discussing our daughter and my concerns for her.
Had the issue of the daughter arisen in the traditional process, because that daughter was over the age of 16, she would have largely been ignored. We could have written to each other about her, but we couldn't have raised any of the issues in the court because she was above the age where they would have been concerned about it. And so it would have really been brushed under the carpet. And I think the daughter would have been left with big problems to deal with herself. And Jan and Jeremy would have carried some burden of that, I think, forwards.
It was a very good outcome for Jeremy and Jan as parents. I'm sure they had always prioritised their children's needs, but I think they had to confront what those needs were and that the fact their needs were changing, and they both accommodated that. They both understood what they could and might need to do moving forward to help the daughter.
At the end of the process, I felt that it had gone smoothly. We reached an agreement. It was obviously there was compromise on both sides, which was important. My main concern was that the children saw it to be fair. Actually, that was very, very important to me.
At the end of the process, I naturally felt sad about it, but felt it was time to move on, and it was a big weight being lifted off, because at least we knew where we were then, and we could get on with our lives.
There were probably hugs all round. There might even have been a tear, but actually I think overwhelmingly from both Jan and Jeremy there was a sense of relief.
With traditional divorcing couples, when you've been through the court process, I no longer view those as families. They are families that have been cleaved down the middle and they are going in opposite directions. But I do tend to view Jan, Jeremy and their children still as a family, a completely different family to the one they were, but I do still think of them as a family. And I think that's achieved through the collaborative process.
Jan and I regularly see each other. We've got the children in common. One's off to university, one's just back at college. In fact, I'm having them round for barbecue tonight. So life goes on. And Jan takes the dog for a walk and drops him back to my house. So yes, we're on a very friendly basis.
At the end of the day, I think we did get the right result. We both were happy with our settlements, and it helped us to get to where we are now, which is that we are able to sit down with the children, take them out, go for meals. Jeremy comes to have dinner with us sometimes, and it's a good outcome, and I think he's happy with it now, and I actually think he's almost understands now why it happened, which is good.